Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back, and today we're going to be going over the differences for console and PC for 140 and 150 RPM hand cannons. I do have some tips and shooting techniques for these archetypes. I'm a console player, so a lot of what I'm going to be saying is going to be specifically for console to try and help players on controller get better with these archetypes. For PC, the big tip for console probably won't have the same results, so maybe you guys can help me out with that. And honestly, I'm not sure if PC even needs it, and the main tip for console isn't necessarily magical, but it's a huge impact on how they handle. I want to be clear, this video isn't about winding you up on the differences between console and PC. Since day one the differences have been clear, this video is a genuine attempt to try to help players. It can help you get better with them and be more aware of them. Today, I do have some PC versus console comparisons for these archetypes, and if you've never seen the difference, sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. It's jarring. But there's a couple reasons why I decided to make this video. For the majority of it, we're going to be talking about where they're sitting in the sandbox. I use 140s and 150s a lot. Through the past couple of weeks, we've talked about a couple of different things. Not forgotten, Luna getting nerfed, the difference between PC and console in general, how dominant precision hand cannons are on console versus PC, and maybe with the nerf to Luna and Not Forgotten, some players on console may try to get better with these archetypes, especially Ace of Spades. So let's go ahead and look at some usage stats. For quick play on PC, Ace of Spades is at 40%. You see Last Word, even Thorn in there. In the energy category, we have Recluse at the top. Luna is at 4.48%, Not Forgotten's at 0.18%. Then you look on console, Xbox and PlayStation, you see Dustrock, Bygone, Suros. On Xbox, Ace of Spades doesn't even crack the top 5, but you see Luna at 29%. You see Trust, another precision hand cannon, Last Perdition, things like that. And some playlists like Countdown on PC have Ace at a 77% usage rate. As a whole for comp, PC is at 66% for Ace of Spades, and Luna is at 9%. On console, Ace is at 6%, Luna's at 32%. You also have Trust in there. So there's no debate, PC's main weapon is Ace of Spades. On console, you see these pinnacle precision frames, Trust, Bygones, but with Ace being a 140, you just don't see too many Aces out there, some having a 5% usage in playlist, and in others, the Ace doesn't even crack the top 5. So if you aren't seeing Ace, you aren't seeing Kindled Orchid, 10 Paces, Spare Rations, Nation of Beasts, the other 140s and 150s, because if Ace isn't making the cut, those definitely aren't getting used much at all. It comes down to a couple things, so let's understand what's happening and why it's happening. Since launch, there's no debate on PC versus console recoil. Mouse and keyboard will always have that. On console, you have aim assist with a controller. You have a lot of visual recoil, a lot of actual recoil. You have bloom, you don't have a field of view slider. The recipe for all this together versus a precision hand cannon's ease of use and lethality, as well as other weapons' ease of use, a lot of players don't even bother with the 140s and 150s. If you've never seen a wall test side-by-side comparison of Ace of Spades on console versus mouse and keyboard, you're in for a treat. But this is important information and we can use it to break down what we need to have more success with these archetypes. For the PC comparison, a huge shout out to a friend of mine, Cammy Cakes. I'm sure you've heard of him. If you see Cammy, thank him for the wall test provided to make this video. The console Ace is going to be gray and the PC is white. First off, we have field of view, and honestly I can see why there isn't a field of view slider for console, because that means more feedback is going to be on your screen and there's going to be more explosions, and console probably can't even handle it. So you are further away on PC and it makes the severity of recoil appear not as bad. Next, let's look at accuracy or bloom. On PC, pay attention to the reticle. Importantly, pay attention to the X within the crosshair. This is your accuracy cone, and with accuracy, you look at the recoil, how much it pops up as a hand cannon is being fired. But when you compare it to console, now look at that accuracy cone again. You see that X blooming out past that inner circle. And as it's doing this, the recoil is dramatically different. If you just keep firing the Ace and spamming it on console, it shoots up to the ceiling. And again, I'm not here to call for a change, that's how it's always been, but it's important to understand what it's doing. This way we can make the proper adjustments to make them work on console. And so far, you can easily see why precision hand cannons favored over these, why other weapons like a Bygones is more favored over these. When you aim down sights and spam the Ace on PC, you can actually see where your bullets land. You can see a very tight grouping after each shot. The recoil is away from your bullet spread, so you're very precise, the barrel's off the target. On console, when you start shooting, you have no idea where your shots are going because the barrel's in the way and the aim down sight's recoil's in the way. It's crazy that once you're done spamming it, you're looking in the sky, the bullets look like a zigzag snake on the wall instead of a tight grouping. A completely different experience. You know what a Trust looks like, a Luna's Howl, a Not Forgotten, what it feels like. And with what we just went over for a console player, these 140s and 150s aren't used. These are the reasons why. If you spam the hand cannon and let it rest, you can see the bloom resetting on it. So you fight bloom, you fight not being able to see where your shots even land, you fight the recoil, and that's the visual and actual recoil. Not to mention, to close the door on all of this, while it's handling like this, you get flinched and it makes it all worse. The console crowd is playing in a 0.67 TTK meta. When compared to a 180 hand cannon and you see what's going on with it, there's no debate. You can actually see where your shots land with those. The 140s and 150s are in such a bad spot that players don't even bother. Landing 2 headshots with a Luna versus a Ace on console is night and day. So this brings us to shooting techniques. It was very important to break it down to see where we need to make adjustments. I play on Xbox, and when I say that I think that I can help with 140s and 150s, I really do think that I can. It's not without reason or experience. I genuinely love using them. It's a challenge for me. My top 5 kinetic weapons have Ace of Spades and Spare Rations. My top kinetic is Ace, and my top overall energy is the Kindled Orchid. You won't see too many console players with weapon usage like this, and yes, Luna is in there, but here's the deal. Over 2,000 kills seems like a lot, but I also do play a lot of PvP, and I also do have a lot of weapon variety. That usage is in comp mostly, and to be completely honest with you, after I saw how ridiculously easy it was to use, and again, for console, these are the easiest, most lethal weapons in the history of the franchise, I think. I simply don't find them appealing to use. I personally don't find them fun at all. Now, if you do, that's fine. I'm not here to tell you to like something or not. That's what's really cool about Destiny. That's why there's variety. You do you. With that 0.67 currently on console, most weapons can't get out the final round that would be the death blow. We talked about it in the previous video with Outbreak Perfected. The Ace can't even get off its 3rd shot versus Luna are not forgotten. So with that 0.67 not being there after the nerf, all weapons are getting a bit of a buff. All weapons have a chance now. So when you're using 140s and 150s, there are 4 things that you can do. All of these are shooting techniques, and the first 3 are used a lot, but the 4th one is the most important one in my opinion for higher level play, because all 4 of these techniques together need to be in your arsenal. Each one of them has a place. Number 1 is to spam it, meaning you shoot it as fast as you can. This is what I do and what a lot of players do most of the time, because this is trying to achieve the fastest time to kill that you can. When you spam it though, everything that we went over comes into play. Everything is at max strength. The recoil, the bloom, not being able to see your shots, all of it. The second technique is to pace it, and this has always been what's recommended that you do. After you shoot it, you see the crosshairs come back in. This is that accuracy cone centering and decreasing bloom. If you pace it, you're making sure that the shot is as accurate as possible, but the issue with that is that when you duel other weapons, bloom still happens. And as we've talked about while pacing, you're taking the time to do so, so you're lengthening your time to kill. And you sometimes can't get out the final blow versus faster TTK weapons. You want to do this at a distance. You want to do this when your target isn't looking at you to make sure you land as an accurate shot as you possibly can. Number 3 is a combination of the two, to spam and pace or pace and spam. These hand cannons are 3 headshot kills, so you do it 2 to 1 or 1 to 2. For the pace spam, it's 1 to 2. You take the shot, wait for the recoil to fully reset, and then spam the next 2. This is assuring that your second shot accuracy is there when you start spamming it. The spam pace is a 2 to 1. You acquire your target, you fire the first 2 shots as fast and accurately as you can, you wait for the bloom to reset, and then shoot the last shot as a pace. Like I said, all 4 of these shooting techniques need to be in your arsenal, but these 2 especially. And then we have the 4th way. I want to be clear, this might not be your thing, you might not find value in it. The last technique is used with the previous 3 as an add-on. So real quick, let's stop the music, let's go to raw gameplay. Here's what I want you to pay attention to. I'm going to show 3 clips with a regular hand cannon duel using a 140 or 150, and then 3 clips using this technique. Take note at the difference visually, and then we'll break down what's going on.
2 for 1. 2 for 1. Two for 1. Your moments of clarity are weapons, Warlock. Double down.
This is to why it's important to break down versus PC to what 140 and 150 hand cannons are doing on console. Those problem areas, not seeing where your shots land, the recoil, the bloom. So this is how I shoot them. It's not easy to do, but it does come natural to me, and it does have a degree of difficulty to it. The hand cannon's no different than any other weapon in the game. The last technique is to get the barrel down after each shot for extreme recoil compensation, because once that first shot is fired, your right thumbstick is thrown in a downward motion. Depending on the hand cannon, your compensation is going to be more or less. It's going to be about feel. The overall goal is to get the shot leveled to get the barrel straight. You do have aim assist in play here, and it will feel differently if you're shooting against a wall versus an actual enemy. All the weapons in Destiny have different aim assist values, so if you do this, you can feel those values. Every video that I make when it comes to shooting a weapon, I tell you to never let the recoil fly. Don't just shoot the weapon and let it do what it does. You need to always be in constant control and direct your shots. Place each shot that you take. And that right there is where players start having issues with 140 and 150 RPM hand cannons. Because honestly, they're brutal on console. If you don't compensate, these can really get away from you. And once you shoot your shot, the recoil is at its highest peak, then you start having things like flinch coming into play. It's over. So what you're doing is throwing the barrel back down as soon as it goes up. Mentally, that's how you want to be thinking of this. When you do this, this keeps your vision on the target. It gets the barrel out of the way, not obscuring your target. It keeps your shot straight. And while all this is going on, you're combating flinch. And this is hard to put into words, so we're going to spend a little bit more time with it. Take a look in hip fire when firing ace. When you spam it, look what the recoil is doing. Look how it's acting. With the technique, you can see how much straighter the shot is. Being that there's more recoil on console, when you aim down sights, you're achieving a straighter shot by doing this, as well as making the visual recoil easier on you, the user. It's a fast movement. You acquire your target, shoot the shot, and the right stick is immediately slammed to the bottom casing of the controller. So you'll hear that casing tap as the stick slams against it. After you do that, the thumbstick's brought back up to its natural resting position in the middle. This is after each shot, so you're very busy on the sticks. Now, I do slam it down, but you can apply just a little bit of down tension on the right stick to level it out after each shot that you take. Again, it's after each shot, and the whole goal is to get that barrel straight, to move that recoil back down, to have constant control of your shot. That's what you need to be thinking about to try to get your shot and barrel straight. Once you do that, you can start feeling it, you can see it, and like I said, it might not be your thing, but I use these a lot. And again, for a console player, you won't see too many that have their top overall weapons being 140s. So I hope that this can help. It's a genuine attempt to try to help players with these archetypes. It isn't necessarily, like I said, a magical thing, but it does yield positive results, and it takes work to do it properly, but I found that some variation of this fourth technique is needed to do well with 140s and 150s on console. I'll be down in the comment section to help answer questions if you guys have any, and at first, if you haven't really tried controlling the recoil on these 140s and 150s, slamming that barrel down, go on patrol and shoot some ads, get a feel for it. And that fourth technique doesn't involve just hand cannons. As we know, if you apply down tension on a pulse, you can make all three bullets go in a very straight line. So once again, one more time, it's not the last you're going to hear it from me, don't let the recoil fly, control it, place each shot that you take. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button, and remember to like and comment if you guys see fit. Down below, please comment if you guys have any thoughts or if you have any tips for 140 and 150 RPM hand cannons. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.
Double down, triple down. Fantastic work.